Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Micks Mowers. In today's episode we're going to be doing fuel winterization on a Briggs and Stratton style flathead engine, not the 450E series one. This is the one with the tank and carburetor combination on the side, one where you have to pump 3 times, okay? I'll show you which one it is. If it is the E series one you're looking for, I shall explain that very slightly at the end of this video because it is slightly different. However, this is the flathead version. I'll show what the engine looks like. If this is the engine you've got, this is a video for you. So this video will tell you how I and how others have an opinion on how to winterize their machines to try and guarantee that it starts during the springtime next year. There are different ways in which you can do it, and professionals, of which I am not, will tell you how to do it other different ways to me, and it's all dependent on where you are in the world, what types of fuel you have and what types of climates you have. They're very, very important keys to take into consideration, okay? Before we get on though, I must say, I had a parcel come through from you all know who, from Pterodactyl himself, from Terra Fixes It All YouTube channel, him, Junior and Slippers. They sent a little parcel over predominantly for my little Riley boy, but there's a little something in there for me too. So I have already pre-opened it because anything that comes into the shop, especially Riley saw Terrell's face on it, he was in there like a tramp on chips, couldn't stop him. So I always like to pre-open anything just in case there's anything nasty in there. You never know if people get my address or what have you and send stuff over that perhaps they shouldn't do. I don't want Riley boy being affected by that, so I always open my stuff up anyway. So I've got a nice little lot of stuff come through by the looks of it. As always, the boys over at the Grass Rats Garage are extremely generous. They've sent me a plethora of knickknacks and paddywhacks. We've got a Brothers Grow sticker. There you go. That's a cool one to go on the old toolbox. We've also got a Draw Blood sticker as well, which is on their Facebook, facebook.com Draw Blood. Check them out. I've got a little Terrell calling card. Big fantastic for doing the old coils, for checking the gaps on coils. Riley likes this one. I've got a Mower Shield one as well, which is fantastic. Also gave me and Riley boy a Terrell Fixes It All standard badge to put on your clothes, and also more in particular a keyring style badge which also doubles up as a beer or bottle opener as well. Also got quite an oldie here, not seen one of these before, a Terrell for President, which is quite unique considering that you guys over at US are going through your elections at the moment. And also very, very lucky to receive one of limited, I think it's a limited edition, Terrell Fixes It All signed 2021 calendar. Off of Terrell, and in this calendar we've got pictures of Terrell and the boys, Junior and Slippers, on their mowers, jeeps, and Slippers on his bike and all that sort of good stuff. Absolutely fantastic, real high quality, real nice images. They also give you when certain holidays begin, like Ramadan begins there's one, and Terrell's birthdays is on there, Slippers' birthdays on there. There's June, that's my birthday with Blade Man and Throttle. Nice little car there. There's Terrell half naked doing a barbecue cookout on a ride-on lawnmower with a barbecue on the front of it. Pretty cool. That video is very, very good. There's Junior on his chopper, and there's Junior Slippers again, and there's a gang for the Halloween one. And last but not least, you've got Terrell and the boys all dressed up as Father Christmas. So they sent that over at the goodness of their heart. They didn't need to do that. But they did, and me and Riley boy are very, very much appreciative for that. So for those of you that don't know Terrell, and if you don't know Terrell, I don't know where you've been hiding, because you all certainly should do. He's a world-renowned, world-famous. Go and check him out. He does some comedy videos, and also the man does know his peas and carrots. He knows exactly what's going on. So go and check him out. He's a fantastic fella over in the States, and we all think he's fantastic over here in the UK. So go and check him out. So this video, as I say, is about winterization on a Briggs and Stratton flathead. This would be the 450, the 300, anything classic flathead Briggs and Stratton, and it'll even consider the same for pretty much any ride-on, despite the tank is slightly different, but the same process should be followed. So without further ado, let's get down and dirty and let's winterize this Briggs and Stratton flathead engine. Okay, so here we have on the bench, this is a little tiny Sovereign 450 flathead Briggs. That's been in a little while. This one actually didn't sell this year, so it needs to be winterized for next year. Now the only issue, okay, I'm going to say with these style of engines is that between the carburetor and the tank, there is a little tiny gasket and diaphragm. Now if you decide to take the fuel out, that can cause the gasket and diaphragm to go stiff. If you leave your fuel in, it can leave the gasket and diaphragm to go a bit saggy. So you're sort of between the devil and deep blue sea here. But what I recommend is to leave the fuel in and run your machine every 4 weeks. Fresh fuel, keep your fuel levels down low, but make sure you are putting in fresh fuel every single time. Okay, that's what I would recommend. However, if you don't want to be going back to your machine every 4 weeks, especially on Christmas Day, you're going to need to follow this process. Now this process is for the Briggs and Stratton flathead engine. It's called a flathead because it's got a flat front face to it, and it's got a little prime bulb on the side which says pump 3 times. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to take the air filter off. That's just with a little tiny flat-headed screwdriver. You undo this big bolt on the top, and then you can then undo that screw. Take that off and the air box comes off. Let me do that and I'll come back. Okay, so this little lawnmower, I've actually run it up, and I've now run the lawnmower completely out of fuel, so it actually stopped on its own accord. And I did that by tying back the dead man's handle, supervised the machine for 5 or 10 minutes whilst I was in the shed to make sure the rider boy wasn't around, and the machine just stopped. Okay, that would tell most people that actually this carburetor and tank is now empty. Okay, which is good, so put it in your shed. Away you go. The problem comes is that that's not actually the case. There's still fuel in this system, and I know that because when I prime this engine, it's still got fuel in there, and that's because there's fuel inside the well. And that is the biggest cause. 99% of the problems is because of this well is full of fuel and cannot get chucked through the carburetor to be disposed of. So what we're going to do is we're going to undo this screw, as I say. A little tiny flat-headed driver. If you haven't got a screwdriver, use a dinner knife. Use anything you've got. Use a 2p piece, okay, and just remove that off. Once that's been removed, we've then got 2 bolts removed. One is a 3/8 and one is a 1/2 inch. Now I've got all the toys and all that sort of good stuff, so I'm quite lucky. If you don't have all the toys, then you need to get hold of either a little tiny cheap socket set, okay, or a spanner set. You can do it with a spanner, you can get in there, but it's just a little bit long-winded, okay. But the total cost of a spanner, 1/2 inch and 3/8 is going to cost you pennies, okay. It's going to cost you nothing. But I've got all the toys. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to display to you what actually happens. I'm going to remove this 3/8 bolt here on the front. That's that one gone. I'm then going to remove the 1/2 inch one on the side. There's only one there. You can't miss it. It's right in front of you. Okay. There it goes. I say you can do that with a spanner. So it's not the end of the world. With that then removed, what we then have to do is slowly withdraw this tank off of the machine. You're pulling it towards you. By pulling it towards you, it just pops off. You see it just drop off? But it's still caught on by the linkages. If you lift up this nearest side of the tank to you at an angle like so, that's exaggerated. If you lift up this tank just slightly and then lift the linkage at the same time, that will just pop off of the engine. And now you've got your tank and carburetor all in one. Bear in mind, this is empty. There's no fuel in this tank, okay? What I'm now going to do is clip this lawnmower off the stand, and I'll show you exactly what I mean by this is not quite winterized as of yet. Okay, so now we have the tank all off. This is just for display purposes only, okay? You don't have to do all of this as I'm just trying to show you. But now what you're going to do, you now need to get a Phillips screwdriver, okay? And you now want to remove the five screws off of this carburetor. One here. Turn it round, one here, and one here. There's 5 to remove. You can use a normal screwdriver, but I'm going to use an impact just to speed the process up. Okay, so we're just going to remove those. So there's 5 to do. I wouldn't recommend doing these up with an impact because you tend to strip them out, okay? With those now removed, I'm now going to remove this carburetor off. And there's a lot of fuel coming out around the gasket and diaphragm. Put that to one side. I'm going to show you something else in a minute with that as well. But as you can see, inside this well, there's fluid. Okay, so that fluid needs to come out. So slowly remove the gasket and diaphragm. Remember which way that goes up. Now we need to get a bit of blue roll, kitchen roll, toilet roll, whatever you want to call it. And literally just going to dip that straight into that well. Okay, you might put a screwdriver in there. If you don't get it first pass, get another bit of roll. Make sure it's clean all the time, because cleanliness is godliness with carburetors. Make sure it's clean. Put it all the way down in there, and we're looking to suck up all of that stuff in there, okay? Still a bit more fuel, it's just sat up around here. So dry it all off. Don't introduce any dirt into this carburetor. So now with that all done, sorry for the glare back on my light, but now you see that well is absolutely bone dry. There's no fuel in there at all, okay? Nothing. So now we know that is actually winterized and ready to go. However, remember what I said about the carburetor? If I now open the flap up on the back of this carburetor, so it's open, I now push this bowl, you'll see fuel shoot out of it. There you go, see that fuel? And coming out all over my leg as well. So now we just want to drain the fuel out of this, tip the carburetor up at different angles, different angled angles. Keep tipping it, keep priming it all the time, okay? That way we know that there's no fuel in the tank, there's no fuel in the well, and there's no fuel in this carburetor anywhere. As long as you just keep priming and priming and priming, you'll know that you're getting all this fuel out, okay? Make sure you don't introduce any dirt. Now this is a good time now to replace your gasket and diaphragm should you need to do so. However, I know that my gasket and diaphragm is good. Just go onto eBay, Amazon and look up genuine Briggs and Stratton gasket and diaphragm set, and one of these will turn up. There's two pieces to it. There's a gasket and there's a diaphragm. The diaphragm will go on first, followed by the gasket, okay? And that just sits on there like so. This straw goes in the L. That main jet gauze goes in the well. All you've got to do is just literally, there's a bit of dirt on that carburetor. See that bit of dirt just there? See that? Get that off. We don't bring no dirt in here, do we? Cleanliness is godliness. Put that straw into there, that goes into there, and we can then seat this carburetor and gasket and diaphragm set all in one, down together. Don't do these screws up just yet, because they need to find their seat, and this is where you don't use an impact. Use a hand screwdriver, just so you get these screws well seated, okay? And all we're going to do is just do a cross method, wind that one down, turn it round, come over to his buddy, do that one, wind that one down, come over to his buddy over here, using a cross hatch method, a bit like doing a head gasket. That one, there's one over the back here we haven't done yet. Wind that one down. If they start to catch, just reverse it out a touch and go back in again. And all I'm doing is just kissing these screws down. I'm not actually doing them up. I'm just kissing them down. Because if you over tighten these, what tends to happen is you tend to warp the actual carburetor itself, okay, and that's not a good thing. Once you've got the screws half kissed down, what you can then do is just go around and give them, again, a cross hatch method, a little tiny quarter turn, kiss it down tight, which is going to be there, quarter turn, come down to here, nick it down a bit tight, quarter turn, and then bring that carburetor down fully, all the way down, okay? Now, when you go to start this up next year, if you find you're leaking fuel out the front of this carburetor, nearest the engine, this one just here, okay, you might have to screw down these two a bit tighter, okay? But now there's no fuel in that tank, and there's no fuel in the carburetor, there's no fuel in the well, we've got no fuel in this system at all. So that we now know is fully winterized and ready for next year. All we've then got to do is fit the carburetor back to the engine, which I'll show you how to do, and we're good to go. Okay, so now we know that the carburetor tank and well has got no fuel in it. If I go to prime it, nothing in there, it's empty, fully dry. Now what we've got to do is a little tiny hole just on here, the bigger hole out of the two. That just clips onto the little tiny linkage. Bring the linkage forward, clip it onto through the big hole, like so. Tip the carburetor back up straight, and now you're looking just to line it all up on the fuel intake hose just here, and the crank breather case just here. Line the two up, and then slowly push the two together. Once they're in together, you can put your 1/2 inch bolt in loosey-goosey, and your 3/8 on the front, loosey-goosey. Get them lined up, get them running. Once they're running, you can then get your screwdriver or your spanners or your sockets or whatever you've got to hand. As I say, you can be as low cost as you like. Do up your 1/2 inch, that's that one, and then do up your 3/8 on the front. That's that one. All you've then got to do is get your air filter, give it a tap of clean if you need to, put that on, Put your big bolt on, that goes in the centre. Get your flat-headed screwdriver and then do that one up. Now when it comes to next year, technically you'll have no fuel in here, nothing at all. Your tank is bone dry, everything's got no fuel in there. All you've got to do is put fresh fuel in. You might have to give it, it says free, you might have to give it 10 pumps, just until you hear that fuel starting to go around. If you find that it's not priming, okay, when you do it, what you can then do is you take your screw back off, okay, if it doesn't prime. Take it off, and with a bit of WD-40 or a little bit of petrol, just pour a little tiny bit in there, about 5 mil, pour a bit in there, and by pouring it in the top there, the fuel will then drip down onto the gasket and diaphragm and just make it more supple and just sort of bring it back to life, okay? And then hopefully, if you follow those steps, you'll find that your lawnmower should start with no problems next year. Simple as that. Okay, and that is how you winterize a Briggs and Stratton classic engine, the flathead one with the push button on the side. Very, very simple to do. Just don't forget, you must take the carburetor off and you must drain the fuel out of the well to do so. It's no biggie. Anyone at home can do that. It's not exactly hard to do. It is different to the E-Series engine, which if you've got one that pushes on the side, but you have a black carburetor looking like this, okay, slightly different. All you have to do is you can leave it all connected, no problem, but just undo a little tiny hex bolt at the bottom, take that plug out, and then that will drain all your fuel out. You don't have to take the carburetor off to do so. You can do it from the bottom. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode. If you did, that's fantastic. So you've got 3 options there. You can either run your machine every 2 or 3 weeks, keep introducing new fuel. You can run fuel stabilization fuel in your machine, but you must run it for 2 or 3 minutes beforehand and then put your machine away and don't touch it. Or option number 3 is to take all the fuel out of the system, including the well and the tank and the carburetor, screw it all back together and put it away for the year and you'll be good to go. So 3 choices in which I recommend of how to winterize these flathead engines. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and whack your bell. That way you'll be told when I've done a video or 2 on my Saturday night weekly live stream, which starts at 6:30 PM UK time. I look forward to the next episode of Micks Mowers very, very soon. But until then, people, don't forget, more importantly, take it easy.